What's up guys, this is Levi from Miss May I. I'm at Amoeba Hollywood, and this is what's in my bag.
I fucking gave everything, put myself in a place I shouldn't be. Took a chance, trying to acquire something I cannot see myself.
I found a lot of good stuff today. I got an Underoath DVD. This was the first band that had screaming that sort of got Miss May I into playing heavy music. We were always a cover band in basements, covered like Taking Back Sunday, Hawthorne Heights, nothing with any screaming. Underoath, that was right when they started coming out. They're all over MySpace, and so we're like, oh, let's cover them. And nobody knew how to scream. And I was the singer, and I was like, I have to learn how to do this. We tried, and it sounded horrible, but it was the first time we ever heard screaming in music, and yeah, they like changed. This is like the reason we are even Miss May I. They changed our lives for sure. So I'm excited to see this DVD and see what it's all about. It's really vague around the cover and everything. That's gonna be awesome. I was looking for an As I Lay Dying CD because one of my favorite bands, and I actually found this, which I wasn't expecting, beneath the blocked and everything. Encasing of Ashes. It's out of print. I guess it's their first record. I remember seeing this on their DVD, which I've watched a million times. They're the band that sort of showed us a whole new world. We went from Underoath to As I Lay Dying and opened up a door to, wow, music can get way heavier. It's sad they don't tour anymore. The last tour they were going to do in the US, we were supposed to do it with them right before everything went sour and we didn't get a tour with them anymore. But I think this is really cool. I haven't even heard any of these songs, so I'm really excited to take this home and check it out. So this is the Used Made Memories CD DVD. This was the first, probably my first and only poster boy band. Like I had posters of them in my room. I was obsessed. I never was like that with any other band. Like there's other bands I liked and listened to them and had their t-shirts, but this was the band that my entire room was the Used. I remember finding out about them in junior high, like 5th or 6th grade, and one of my girlfriends gave this to me. It was all shattered, but I had this. I actually think she stole it from her brother. Obviously it was before YouTube and everything, so I would just watch this DVD on repeat for probably like years.
It just still wasn't rocking. When Bert came in, he just completely blew us away, and I think it was just magic. It was just perfect. It was like everything we were missing, everything we needed.
I remember the first Taste of Chaos. I went to see them, and I waited out in the snow with my mom for hours. Like everyone already left. Like no other fans stuck around. It was just me and my mom and maybe 2 other people. There was like hundreds, and they all left, and we waited in the snow waiting to see them, and they actually came out finally, hung out with us, signed everything we had. They hung out with us like an hour. Like changed my life. That's how I like to treat fans now, is because how they treated us. Crazy thing about them and us is we shared main stage on Warped Tour years later, and we became friends, like really close friends. And on Warped Tour, Bert was like, hey, I don't scream anymore, you should come and do Box Full of Sharp Objects with me. And you don't even know what went through my head. And the best part was he was like, I'll send you the lyrics, I'll text them over to you. I was like, I've been singing that song since I was like 12. I know every word. So the rest of Warped Tour, I got to sing it with them, and it's weird even now hanging out with them because they mean so much to me. I don't even think they know. They're just like, Levi, hey, what's up? And I'm still like inside like, holy shit, like you're my favorite band. Like you're the only band I've ever had posters of. So I was looking at this in the Amoeba shop. It's a little action figure, Darth Vader. And Star Wars is my favorite movie by far. And with all the new stuff, it was cool to see like some of the older toys, but it reminded me that I had one just like this, and actually I think this is the same exact one I had as a kid. And I don't have any of the toys I had as a kid anymore. We had a house fire when I was in like junior high. We lost everything, restarted. I can't believe it's in this good a condition, so this is pretty meaningful. I'm definitely gonna send a picture of this to my mom afterwards and be like, what's up? I know we're in a metal band, but we don't always listen to metal, and one of my new favorite bands is 1975. I actually don't have a physical copy. I've only Spotified it, and I have an iTunes copy. There's not really record stores around as much, so I don't get to see the actual physical copy. I think it's cool because this sort of has the 80s feel, and I love poppy music, but it's not cheesy poppy. It's like tasteful and different. They're amazing. So this book is from Nergal, from Behemoth. I follow him on all his socials, and I always see him post about this book. but obviously it's not like front shelves at Barnes & Noble or that easy to get a hold of or at like a Walmart. So to see this at this store, I had to pick it up. I'm so excited to read it. He's went through some crazy stuff. Him through all his illnesses, I can't wait to see, because I know he took a lot of years off tour, and he's like a whole new person, changed man afterwards. I'm excited to see the story through and read it. And actually, the one time I think I might have seen it, it wasn't in English. I wasn't even looking for this. It was sitting on a shelf and caught my eye. So this is gonna be definitely a good read. And last, I'm a new fan of this. This is the comic Saga. This is the first issue. This is probably the first and only comic I've read so far. How I got into this comic, I went to a comic book store where I used to live in Cincinnati, and they have those dollar intro issues that you just buy for $1. Maybe it gets you into it, maybe it doesn't. So I bought all of them. They're like 10 bucks, bought them all. I thought some of them were cool, but I got obsessed with the first issue of this. I'm trying to get the rest of the band into this, and I got a couple of them into it too, so it's cool to actually talk to somebody about this. I just found today that this author has written a bunch of other cool stuff, so I'm excited to dig into him. But yeah, Saga is my first and definitely my favorite comic so far. It's amazing. And yeah, that's all the Amoeba awesome stuff I got today.